And first tonight, a giant pipeline fire continues to burn in Deer Park, now lasting more than 8 hours. We've got live cameras giving us a look from the ground and a bird's eye view as those flames shoot into the sky. Evacuation still in effect for a half-mile radius from the pipeline. That's the evacuation zone spanning from Spencer Highway to Oak Haven and from Luella Drive to Canada Road. Good evening. Mia Gradney is off tonight. We're learning at least 4 people were injured in this fire. 2 of them have been taken to the hospital. And tonight officials tell us that fire is expected to burn for several more hours, even days. The pipeline, which is burning liquid natural gas, is owned by Energy Transfer. The sheer heat melting off the rooftops of nearby homes, even catching power poles on fire. We have team coverage tonight on the impact of this fire and a look into what caused it. Starting with Troy Kless, live in the Brooklyn neighborhood. What are neighbors telling you there, Troy?
Well, when so many people told us that they could feel their houses shake and hear a loud boom when the pipeline caught on fire this morning, you can see over behind me that the flames are still going on, and firefighters throughout the day have been trying to put water on the nearby homes and the yards surrounding it to keep it from spreading. And the residents told me they did not wait either. Many said that they fled with their loved ones and their pets as soon as they saw the large fire coming from the pipeline. And the fire, like you mentioned, also damaged some of the nearby power lines, leaving the neighborhood without electricity. Residents that live just outside this evacuation zone in the same neighborhood say this is a tragedy and are concerned for the people who may have damage to their homes. I spoke with Amanda Henson, who says this is a close-knit neighborhood and wants to do something for the families affected.
That they lost their fence, the backside of their houses, so a lot of work will have to be done on their homes. All we can do is just do all we can as a community to be there for them.
And Henson says the pipelines run behind her home as well, and all the way down to that nearby playground, which we have seen just been scorched by that fire today. She never thought a day would come like this when an explosion could happen. Again, back out here live, I spoke with Henson. She says that CenterPoint Energy has been giving her different timelines of when the power could be restored, because again, the power lines have been damaged. In the last hour, we've seen people come back to get their pets and their belongings, but many people that I spoke with say that they're still unsure where they're going to be staying tonight. Reporting live in the Brooklyn neighborhood, Troy Kless, KHOU 11 News.
Fear and uncertainty there. Thank you, Troy. Victor Jacobo is at the Deer Park Police Department. Victor, what are officials there telling you about those impacted?
Yeah, Len, I spoke with the mayor of Deer Park a short while ago here at the Deer Park Police Department. He says there's a lot of work ahead of them to assess the long-term and short-term impact of this pipeline fire. He says that Energy Transfer has sent in representatives and many more on their way here to Deer Park to help those most directly impacted by that fire. Spoke with him one-on-one not too long ago. Here's what he had to say about the area that was most immediately impacted by that fire.
Most of that is businesses other than that adjacent neighborhood. So it's really just going to be assessing is the structure is going to be intact. We know the first 10 or 20 are going to have some kind of impact, and hopefully they can find some short-term options, and or Energy Transfer can provide them options.
Right now, here on your screen is information released just within the past few hours. Energy Transfer encouraging people affected by the pipeline fire to call their claims line. That's 855-430-4491. This is specifically for those evacuated east of Luella Boulevard to Canada Road and those from south of Spencer Highway to Oak Haven Eagle Run. Those impacted can get help with things like lodging, per diem expenses, and damages. Officials tell me that it's too early to really get a full grasp of those short and long-term impacts. They say really they have to wait until that fire burns itself out, which, as we know, is going to take a while. Once that's done, then they can really start to investigate and get a hold of just how much of an impact and how much this is going to cost this community. Len, back to you.
Yes, very important information you're delivering there for folks sort of in limbo tonight. Victor, thank you. Well, of course, one of the questions we are all asking is what could have caused this fire? Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski looking into that part of the story tonight. Jeremy.
Well, when the initial 911 call came in from a liquor store across the street as a possible vehicle explosion. Now, I spoke with the owner of that business, who tells me that he rushed outside and did in fact see a vehicle in flames alongside that fireball shooting into the air. Separately, the company that owns the pipeline, Energy Transfer, sent us a statement that reads in part, "We are aware of early reports indicating that an unknown passenger car entered our right-of-way and struck the valve location." Again, that valve tied to a 20-inch liquid natural gas pipeline. Deer Park Police saying that they are aware of this vehicle as well, but would not speculate as to whether it struck any equipment, who was driving it, or why it was there in the first place. Deer Park authorities adding that that part of the investigation will begin in earnest once the fire is finally out. Glenn?
All right, Jeremy, thank you for the update, shedding some light on what's going on. Again, this fire expected to burn for several more hours, possibly days. We have any new developments across all platforms, including on air and on KHOU.com.